Hello all, my name is Battitz. I'll be playing the American team today, along with my ally and personal friend, the German, who's playing the British. And our opponents are jordspen and HoSsTa, and they'll be playing the Nazis. We in the business of killing Nazis. Business is booming. Yeah, I watched Glorious Bastards the other day. Good times. Anyway, playing the R.U.S.E beta, which there's like a month left still. So if you wanna download that if you haven't already, I'd highly recommend it. I think it's a pretty fun game, minus all the crashes upon joining at times, but other than that it's quite fun, if I do say so. This was a match did earlier, well, yesterday, but whatever. And we played jordspen and HoSsTa 2 times. We'd end up joining the same lobby after we finished this one, and for some reason we ended up playing them again, and they did almost the exact same tactic as before, and needless to say, it didn't work again, which kind of spoils the ending. Anyway, comment on the tactics I use, I guess. I usually deploy 1, 2, 3 supply depots off the bat, and then the secondary HQ over here in the middle. And then I usually deploy an artillery and anti-air base so I can start sending out the old half-tracks M16. And it's very effective for shooting down those early planes that people like to use, as demonstrated by the now burning forest. Smokey would be devastated. And then I usually cover it up with camo in the beginning sector and use the blitz so that I can get resources moving to the base faster. And my opponent, who is HoSsTa on my side, he started out trying to do, I guess, the air tactic, and then changed his mind rather quickly. Now he's just setting up a bunch of anti-aircraft forced. And I decided to move up my half-tracks and deploy a secondary base over by the town here. And let's go check out what happened on the left side. My friend Germans, he also opted for the airfield start as he usually does. And his opponent basically spammed the heck out of some aircraft guns and is now setting them to cut off these paratroopers, which are probably going to get screwed over. Excuse me. And he also started making some tigers, which proved to be a pain in the ass near the end of the game. And, like I said before, sent up the secondary HQ, the entire chilling there. It's at this point that my opponent starts spamming a bunch of infantry. We'll see many more of them later. But yeah, my overall opinion of the beta so far is it's been a very enjoyable game. It's quite addicting. Been playing Sunday morning now, and been playing since it came out about Tuesday night. I was in the closed beta before then, I only played like 2 or 3 games since it was multiplayer only. And I didn't want to get my feet wet with that. But I've been playing pretty constantly for the past week almost. Gotten a lot better than I was at it, but I was looking around YouTube the other day and didn't see that many videos of people who exactly knew what they were doing, though I don't exactly claim to know what I'm doing either. But I've gotten a better grasp of it so far. So at this point, HoSsTa is spamming out heavy infantry, and I built an armor base near my secondary, and I saw that he had a secondary over here, so I sent in my tanks to take that, and then I decided, oh hey, why not advance myself up even further, so I made some infantry to go and capture it instead. And I just got my half-tracks pounding away over here against his infantry. And now his flak guns too. And yeah, he didn't really seem to learn from his mistakes during this game. Or the next game, either. But I figured this was a decent little show of flanking around this mountain basically with a lot of tanks. I basically start tank spamming just Lees and Shermans. Actually, I think these are the only Lees I make. After this I upgrade to Shermans and just start tank spamming those for the rest of the game. And I forgot to mention that this match, for some reason they had it set to the early time era, so it's like 1939 units only, so that's why there will be no heavy tanks or prototype bases or any of that from our part, but I guess the advantage for them is they still have their Tigers, which we don't really have an equivalent to, being Americans and the British. And on the left flank, Germans is getting pushed very back. And the British tanks are definitely not even remotely close to the Tiger. See, look, one tank shell takes out a light tank. Ridiculous. But yeah, the British are definitely not good for tanks. I think I read that they were second worst, only ahead of the Italian tanks, which are also pretty useless. And at this point, I've already basically finished mopping up HoSsTa on the right. I just sent this armored column through their secondary and through the town, which probably wasn't the smartest of things, but it paid off in the end, I guess. And I sent my other 3 medium tanks around the mountain here, and basically just mopping up his base. And the tank spam begins. And yeah, at this point Germans was not having a very good game. The jordspen, yeah, just sent these Tigers around to his base, and they end up wreaking a bunch of havoc before I can get my Shermans over there to help. And jordspen actually does a pretty good job of holding us off by himself for 5-10 minutes. Ow. Ignore that loud sound as I bang my knee into the desk. But yeah, at this point, I do not have very good micro of my units, though I do have some decent maneuvering later in the game that I'll